Hello guys, it's Silas Tops here, your PHP lecturer. Welcome to our PHP lecture 15. In this lecture guys, I'm going to demonstrate how to apply a nested if and else statement in PHP. If you watched our previous lecture, which is PHP lecture 14, I did demonstrate the application of an if and an else statement. And an if and else statement, you apply it when you have got a condition that will lead you to two options. But in nested if, mostly is applied in a situation where you've got a condition that will lead you to more than two options. For example, in this lecture, guys, I'll show you the project that I'm going to demonstrate with now. My details are here, guys, as usual. If you have any problem, you're still going to contact me. Just use my details here, either a cell phone number or email address. So the question for today, guys, it's I want to actually use an if statement to grade the marks of a student. Where the marks of the student, when I enter the mark of the student, if the student have a mark of 1 to 14, the program have to determine that this mark is a fail. And if the student have a mark of 45 to 49, the program must tell me that it's a supplementary. If it's from 50 to 59, the program may have to tell me that he passed with a grade C, and if it's in this range, it have to tell me that. So the if and else state will be comparing the marks and give me the proper grading of that mark. So the program, I'm gonna actually write the program using a nested if to the program that's gonna give me the grading of the mark. So without wasting time, guys, I'm gonna open my nested my Notepad++ here, which is my text editor, as usual. So when I come here, guys, I'm gonna write this into a front end and a back end. So the back end is my PHP that I'm gonna write, guys. But I want you to write a front end as well and link it to my back end so that you actually being familiar with how to you start learning how to write a professional project, guys. So with I'm just want to open a Notepad++ here. On my Notepad++, let me just start by pasting my front end here. I'm not going to actually show you because I assume, guys, the front end I'm going to just explain. So this is the front end. Let me just save this page here. I'm going to save as. I want to create my project folder now. When I'm saving, I have to go to my C drive, then I go to XAMPP. Then in my XAMPP here, I have to look for htdocs. Then this is the htdocs. In my htdocs, I'm gonna click the new folder here. Then I'll name my project, give it the name prog 15 because this is the project 15. Then press enter. When I press enter, I want to name my front end file with a .php because in some situation you might find that your front end file you will be having a combination of the code. It will actually consist of HTML and PHP code. So it is very important to give it a .php extension so that the PHP code that you're going to put in the file will be recognized when the file is being run by a browser. So let me just give it a name like student. Let me give it a name like student mark. Okay, student mark.php. This is my front end. Let me save it in the project prog 15. Let me click open here, then save. Then once I save, this is the front end that I'm just designed, and I assume, guys, you are familiar with HTML. This is simply the HTML that I used here. The header, the body, I use it grading my topic here. I want to grade using a nested if statement. Then I put a form because I'm designing this form. I want to create a form that I'm gonna fill a student number. Then after filling a student mark, after filling a student mark, then I click a submit button. Then that submit button, then it's safe to send me to a PHP program, which will be at the back end. So this is just the front end, guys. So I'm assuming you're familiar with the HTML, how to actually design a form. And in this form, the new thing that I want to tell you guys here, in the form, when you want to link it to a PHP, you have to put in this form tag, the first one, then you put the what you call the method. In the method, you write the method, you just write post or get. This is to tell that this form we are going to use a post method when you are submitting it to PHP form, or you are going to use a get. So if you are going to use a get method, you have to write get here. Then this action, you are actually writing the project name of the file where you want to send your form to. So this is the project, the file name that I'm gonna create, which gonna be my backend one for PHP, project.php. So I'm gonna actually create a new here. Once I create a new, I open a new tag here. So I want to name this folder before I even save it, to give it the name of project.php. Let me save as. This is my backend file for PHP. Let me give it the name project.php. So once I give it the name project.php, I have to save it in the same folder where I saved my front end file, which is this one. So I have to save in the same folder which I've got my project name. So I will just simply save here. So here I've got two files. This is for front end and this is for back end, where I have to write my PHP. So what is happening here, guys, when I'm writing my if? Since I indicated here, this file is this one, which is on the project here. So since I indicated that I'm using, on my form, I'm using a method called post. When I'm writing my PHP, I have to come here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, guys, is an opening tag for PHP, which is this question PHP. Then a closing tag, which is question mark, and this. After this, guys, what I want to do, I want to declare a variable called maybe results that gonna hold my results of my nested if. So I want to declare variable called result here. Let me just declare variable. You know how to declare variable in PHP. So I want to assign this variable to an empty string. So if you want to assign a variable to an empty string, you simply put a double quote in front, then I put semicolon here. That's how you do it. So after I'm done this, I want to use an if statement, another function called, let me just explain after I will write it. I want to say if these terms, they're gonna be new to you guys. Don't actually be stressed with them now, because we're gonna actually talk about this in our second semester when we're doing PHP in second semester. So for this semester, it's more like introduction, but I find it actually more interesting for me to actually start to show you guys how to write maybe a professional project that have got a front end and a back end. So the earlier you learn these things, the better you can understand to write even a professional project. So when you're writing this, guys, I have to use a function called isSet. I'm going to explain why we are using this isSet. IsSet what? Okay. You simply say if isSet. So inside this one, I want to call the global. We call this one a variable called post. I'm going to explain about this global variable. Then inside here, this one, you put it in these squarely brackets. Then inside here, you put some quotes. So after I put some quotes here, you put. So what this function is doing, guys, is checking if is set what? This function, because in your form here, you said you want to use the function called post. So this is how you capture. So you are capturing all the variable in your form using this global variable called post. So when you are capturing the value, you have to state where are you capturing this value. So like the first one that you want to check if this submit button, if someone filled the form, after filling the form, then click the submit button. So the first thing that you have to check whether this button was clicked. And when you check, you use this what you call the identifier names. So each and every field, when you're designing your front end form, each and every field, you've got its own identifier name. Like a person, you've got an ID, and you don't share your ID with anyone. So the same applies to these identifier names. They don't share their identifier names with any. So each and every field must have its own identifier. So it is simply this one, which you say name is equals to mark, then this one name is called submit. So the identifier name for this, for my button here, submit button, is simply submit. So this is the one that you want to check here. When you come, you capture that one to check if it is set. So you simply identify this one by writing submit inside here. Then once you are actually calling this if, then you have to put a open and closing keyword brackets. As usual, guys, it's opening and closing keyword brackets. Then inside here, then I want to declare to capture my mark, because this one I was checking for the button. I want to write another program that's gonna check that's gonna capture my mark which were filled here on this form here with the identifier mark. So how do I capture this one? When you are capturing that value, you have to declare another variable here. I want to declare another variable called marks, for example. So how do I capture here? I capture using the global variable called post, which is because in my form I indicated that I'm going to use a method called post. So I use this PHP global variable called post. So you write the identifier inside here. You simply put quotes, then you write the identifier. What is my identifier name for that field here? The identifier name for this field is simply mark. So I just simply go there and write mark inside here. This is the mark. Then I put semicolon. So the next thing that you're going to do, guys, after doing this, then you start to apply your what you call the nested if. So I want to compare my marks. So since here I know that the marks that you start from 1 up to 4 must display the message saying what? It's fail. So I want to compare whether the mark is in this range so that I display this message, or the mark is in this range so that I display this message. So I simply come back to my. So here, when I come, you simply put an if. Then you say if what? Then I'll start by saying variable mark. Then you say if mark. I want to compare this mark that I have here. If max is what? Then I'll use if max is less than or equal to 44. And max, because here on my statement here, guys, max is starting from 1 up to 44. So I'm saying if max is less than or equal to 44, then I have to put an ampersand here and say and max is greater than 0. The max must be greater than 0. So let's say and max greater than 0. Then I'll do what am I gonna do here if the max is in between is greater than or equal to 44? So I have to do something. What do I need to do here? I simply need to assign the value to my results. The variable that I declared is a string here. I want to assign a value here. Then I'll say a result. I'll simply say result is equals to. Then I'll say, let me just give it a string. Is equals to, because if the mark is between 1 and it's a fail. Between 1 from 1 to 44, it's a fail. So let me just write a statement that's going to say you failed your module. Just say you failed your module. You failed your module. You need to register. You need to register. I'll simply say you need to register. So after you write this statement, then you have to come and put an else. We call it an else if. So you simply say else if, then you put another condition here. So I'm gonna actually, let me just copy the one that I have so that I just explain to minimize time, guys, because the time is not on my side. So let me just take the whole thing that I have here, then I'll explain. Copy. So this is how I compare, guys. On the second one, I simply compare if variable max is greater than or equal to 45 and variable max is less than 50, because here it's for 50 to 49 less than 50, then it must be a supplemental. Then the other one also, else if max is greater than or equal. So for the second one, guys, here I'll simply say else if max is greater than or equal to 45 and max is less than or equal to 50, because here I need the range from 45. I'm comparing whether the mark is in this range from 45 to 49. So after that, the other one, the third one, if it is in the range of 45 to 50 to 45 to 49, I'll simply say you qualified to write supplemental. Then the third one, I'll say, remember each and every else if you've got its own bracket, which is this and closing. So you are putting the statement that need to be executed inside. So after that you say else if, then you write the condition. If max is greater than or equal to 50 and max less than 60, which means I need the max that are in the range from 50 to 59. They must be less than 60 because it's only range from 50 to 59. That's why here I'm putting max is greater than or equal to 50, which means it's starting from 50, and max less than 60. They mustn't be 60, they must be less than 60. So if the max is in that range, then you simply say, I need the message that's going to say you have passed your module with a grade C. Then you say else if, because I haven't finished, the else if, the next one, you're comparing the condition if max is greater than, if max is in this range, which is 60 to 74. 60 to 74, I'll simply compare with max greater than or equal to 60, which means starting from 60, and max is less than 75, which means the max mustn't be 75 and above. They must be less than 75, yet they must be greater than or equal to 60. So any mark that is in this range between 60 and 75, then if the mark is in that range, then I have to get the message that says, congratulations, we have passed with a grade B. Else if, because I haven't finished, else if I'm here 75 to 100, the range of 75 to 100 is the one that you're going to say, else if all the marks that are greater than what? All the marks that are greater than or equal to 75. There's no need to write and less than or equal to 100. You can just say marks greater than or equal to 75. You know that all the marks from 75 and above, all those marks must be graded as a grade B. It's a distinction. All the marks that are 75 to 100, that person, the grading of that mark should be a grade A, which is distinction. Else, the last part, which is 0%, you didn't write an exam. This one now, when you are writing a nested if, in a nested if, the last part of your condition, you simply put an else. You don't put an else if. So all this condition, you count how many conditions do you have? Do you want to compare? If you have got, for example, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know that if I start to do this one and say if, then this one followed with else if, else if, else if, else if. Then the last one, I'll simply have to say else. You don't have to put in else if or the last one. So remember, the first one, you simply say if, then followed by the else if, so if. The order, make sure that your condition that you're going to set actually accommodate the ranges that you'll be having. So the last one, I simply say yeah, else if. Else if, then I'll put my result, variable result, and say you didn't write an exam. So everything here, this else if, you've got its own opening bracket and its closing here, which means the code is inside. So it's only executed if that condition, all these other conditions failed, then this one is the one that's going to be executed. So once I'm remember that all this nested if is inside, I put it inside this if for my a submit button checking. So I'm saying if the submit button were clicked, so I want to do all this code that I put inside here. Then after I did this code, I simply come outside here and say echo. I did actually echo a heading here. Grading of your marks. Grading of your mark, I put H1 because I want to displace a header here. Then I concatenate with my variable. This is how you call the variable that you declared, isn't it? I declared the variable here called marks. So if I want to call this variable, simply say dot variable marks dot. You want the actual mark that you filled maybe on your front end form to be displayed here. So I concatenate this one again with this string said he is finished. Then I come here and say echo. I want to echo the variable results. Any results that will actually grade my mark. When my mark is graded, I want that grading to be displayed here. That's why I just say H3 and I want it to be displayed as a header 3. Then I concatenate this string of header 3 dot variable result that I'm calling, which is this variable. This is how you call the declared variable, guys. If you are actually calling them in combination with other string, you concatenate them with a dot and dot, then you put a string, then I'll end with a semicolon. So once you are done, guys, writing, just try to write follow step by step and write the whole program as I did here, guys, and make sure that at least you run by yourself. Don't just listen without practicing and do it. So once I'm done this, let me just save it, guys. If I save it, let me just save. I think it's saved. Okay, once my programs are saved, guys, I have to come to, you look for the XAMPP control panel. Let me just look for my XAMPP control panel. Okay, my XAMPP control panel, the Apache is already started and MySQL is already started, so I don't have to be stressed with that. So you go to your browser. If I come to my browser here, you go to a browser, then you click your favorite browser. My browser is taking a while to open. It's taking time to open. I don't know what's wrong with my computer here. It opened even so many tabs here. Okay, I want to use only one. So you come to a browser, then you simply say localhost / then you type the name of your project. My project is prog 15. Yes, prog 15. Then you press enter. Once you press enter, you see this project now because you saved the front end file and the back end. So this is my front end. So I'll simply click my front end file here. So you see, this is my front end. So this is my front end is displaying the place where I need to fill a form here and the submit button. So this is the front end. So when I fill whatever, you can fill actually, because here in my front end here, guys, if you see what I did here, I put this one as a type of a number and type of a number. That's why I have got when I run it, I have got also this arrow. So I can actually put a mark using this down and up arrow. Or you can simply type your mark. For example, I want to type 70 here as a mark. Then you click submit button. For other reasons, there's an error here online. What PHP project online 26. Let me just go error unexpected. This one online 26. Let me just go and look what is that error online 26 here. On my .php line 26, I have got an error of this. Okay, I have got another comma that another closing QL bracket that is not recognized there, so I deleted it. Let me come and refresh. Continue. Okay, you see now, because I put 70. This is the code that I'm getting. Grading of your mark 70 is finished. Congratulations, you have passed with a grade B. Because it's 70, you see 70 is in between here. It's passed with grade B. If I go back and rerun my project again here and put a different mark, let me put a different mark. I'll simply rerun my project here and click my front end file here. Then let me enter, let's say 40. And press enter. You see, once I press, if I enter 40, grading of your mark 40 is finished, you failed your module, you need to re-register. If I check here on my question, they say your mark between 1 to 40, it's a fail. So it's running perfectly. It's grading each and every mark that is filled on a form. So you can actually play around, even guys, filling different marks. If I fill the other one, like, okay, If I feel even a different one, let's say I feel 80, then press enter. You see now, grading of your Mark 80 has finished. Congratulations, you've passed with a grade A distinction. If you check here, guys, this is the grade A distinction mark from 100. So this is how you actually use a nested if, guys, to play around and write a code that to actually on a front end. Someone who will be using a front end won't even see how you write your PHP code at the back end, but will be in actually submit button and see the results being displayed. But some people, they don't even know how the results is being actually calculated. But this is how you write the PHP that you've got a nested if to give you the results, guys. So I hope you can actually able to follow all the steps that I did here and run your project to display the same thing, guys. Keep on practicing PHP, guys. Make sure that you understand the application of a nested if. Try to actually contact me if you are stuck with anything during your project. I hope, guys, you enjoyed this lecture. I will see you actually in our PHP lecture 16, where I will actually teaching you the conversion of a nested if into a switch statement, the link between a nested if and a switch statement, guys. Enjoy your evening. Thank you, guys. Bye.